Hey, what's poppin', guys? You got your boy Nandra here. Welcome to another video. So for this video, yes, I'm still using my Storm Ailer list or whatever. However, it's not going to be the type of game that they're going to be expecting. This game, I'm gonna be like talking about a very interesting topic today. I'll be talking about the usage of Evos. Well, I'll be touching on it a little bit. So I know a lot of you guys, well, at least on like Discord or whatever, or sometimes on like Reddit or Facebook or whatever. I see you guys complain a lot of times that like, oh, Evos are only used to go face. They're not. You can't do anything else with them. And the only time where you do use something else with them is you go ahead and use it to trade. That's not true. That's not true at all. Like, there are other ways to use Evos. Now, granted, you aren't incorrect or whatever about saying that a lot of times they are in fact used to go face. However, that's also sometimes not always correct to use the Evo to go face, as we'll see here. So this is for a daily game I had earlier today, and it's going to show you guys like how using it to go face in certain matchups can actually be your downfall and actually cost you to lose the game instead. Alright, so I'm versus Shadow. Generally, like, this deck is pretty good versus Shadow just because like you have enough AoEs and you can also make big enough boards in the early games. You kind of just cheese them out or whatever, because like Shadow does actually have difficulties dealing with like large units or just like relatively large boards in the early game, provided you actually you keep them from making like catacomb boards, and then you're just good to go. So my early hand is pretty good. It's not bad, but it's good enough. I just need to top deck Priest of the Cudgel, and then I can go ahead and I can go for cheese play with Gemstone Carapace in order to get Gemstone Carapace into Cudgel on 4, and just drop a lot of stats to my opponent. So here, he plays out Skull Ring. He chooses to trade. At first, this kind of surprised me because like I feel like he would always go face here. However, it occurred to me right after he did that oh, okay, he must be worried about, oh, well, what if the Haven player has a scripture? Then you can go ahead and he can stop me from making a catacombs board. So I'm just gonna assume that he's trying to make the catacombs board, and I'll just go ahead and like let him make the board because I can't stop at this time. So if he has it, that's fine. However, instead he uses to go Demon Eater, and that's fine. He then plays out Delirial as well, and that's great for me. So I can actually full clear this board, and that's actually going to be what I do. I'm also going to go ahead and set up a lot of pressure on my opponent at the same time, which, when you get the chance to do that in the early to mid game, you definitely want to do that, especially now before he like sets up the catacomb board, because like if I can stop him from doing it now, I'm pretty sure I can keep him from making the catacombs board the entire game if I get lucky. So all I'll do here is actually go ahead and play the Gemstone Carapace. I'll then go ahead and play the Snow White. I'll go ahead and I'll immediately evolve the Snow White. Now, the reason why you evolve the Snow White is because, like, Snow White, when she dies, even if she's evolved, if it's the first time that she's died, you still get the second Snow White. So I immediately get the first trigger here. So now what I'll do is I'll go ahead and trade here. Snow White dies, I get the second trigger. This comes out for free, which means I just played a 2-mana 3/5. That's insane. I then go ahead and trade into the skeleton, and then trade into the Demon Eater. So now he went from having 3 creatures in play to me having 3 creatures in play, and him having nothing. Unfortunately for me, I do lose the 1 and 3. He does get the second Lyrial back. However, he's under a lot of pressure here, so he actually chooses to give me his Aisha. So this has far-reaching consequences, and this is a very big deal. So for those of you who don't know, unless your opponent is like Kieran or whatever, aka Kiri, you're almost assuredly, when your opponent plays an Aisha on you, they almost assuredly never have a second Aisha. So that's a big deal for me now, because it means that like this is all of his reach, all in one card, and it's exposed. I can kill it now. Like it's actually not that big of a deal. If I top deck Cudgel, great. If I top deck Scripture, great. And I'll just be in a very good spot. Just because, like, when he has no more reach, this means that, as long as I stop from making a board, he doesn't actually get to do it. So here, I'm actually going to go ahead and play at the Tribunal. So I know a lot of you guys might be going, but Nandra, why did you play at the Tribunal? Why was it playing out Happy Pig and John and Beacon John the play here? The reason why is because I want to go ahead and I want to see something. I know that Aisha is all of the reach he has, unless he's playing Reanimator Shadow, aka Big Shadow. And I'm pretty sure I kind of got the vibes and which I'll talk about in a different video. But like, I got the vibe that he was just, you know, pure like mid shadow or whatever. So I'm banking on the fact that that Aisha is the only Aisha that he has in this deck, which is big because it means that he can hit me for 5 next turn, or he can hit me for 10. But if he wants to hit me for 10, he has to give me his last Evo. That's a very dangerous game for him to play. Because if he gives me his last Evo, he's now down Evos in a matchup where he should only be using his Evo to trade. And as long as I can, you know, stop him from making a board after that point, I win the game. So here he goes Kai'Sa. The Kai'Sa thus, you know, further reaffirms my theory that, okay, he was in fact just mid shadow. He does actually Eva the Aisha because like the allure of the face damage was too big for him to ignore, and he does hit me for 10. But that's big because, again, like I said, he's out of Evos now. He's out of Evos and I can do whatever I want to him as long as I play safe for just a little bit longer. So now this turn is also another very big turn. The reason being is that like is that for most people it would be a very slam dunk play, in that you would either play up the Ancient Land Spirit, or you would play up the Judge of Retribution. However, it's actually not that simple. So, as I just mentioned, he is in fact out of Evos, and a lot of the cards they play in mid shadow, they're all very slow when you don't have an Evo or you don't have a pre-existing board. So as long as I can keep him off the board, all of his cards are suddenly feels bad man to play. Like example, Ektar feels bad man to play. If I actually chose to play at the Ancient Land Spirit here, he could actually go ahead and he could Ektar me next turn. Now, granted, the Ektar is not as good because, you know, he's out of Evo points and I still have Evo points. However, what I'm trying to play on now is I'm trying to play on the I'm trying to play on the what if he does actually have the second Aisha plan. So the best way to do that is actually banish the carrot. The reason why is because like the carrot is a no drawback play for him. You can always just go ahead and use the carrot in order to make a Catacombs board or whatever, and that's what I'm trying to deny. If I can deny him from making the Catacombs board, I never have to worry about dealing with Ektar. So yes, even though I am in fact playing hard into Zombie Party here, it doesn't matter, because if he Zombie Parties, he loses the game, because that means I get to go ahead and I just get to clear it off with Beacon John. He does drop the Zombie Party and hits me for 2, but it doesn't matter, because as long as I play around the Ektar, that's all you need to do, and I'll win this game. Because there's still 3 more turns. 3 more turns before you can play this Aisha, and then the Aisha can be used to kill me. All I gotta do is just gas him out with these 3 more turns. Just, you know, make sure he can't gain any traction. Like, and banishing the carrot is why I did that. So here, when I top the Princess Snow White, I actually decided to go ahead and shift gears and change my plans. For a lot of you guys might have just, you know, played up the Beacon John right here. I'm gonna not do that. The reason why I'm not gonna do that is because, like, one, I'm at that point where I want to try to get more creatures into play than him, because I have a Tribunal popping next turn, which means that, like, as long as I make sure to make sure that he can't, like, you know, again, make the Catacombs board or do anything like that, they'll be able to do it with any form of board that he makes, just because I have a lot of AoE, I have a lot of answers in my hand. So I'll go ahead and do here is I actually kind play the Ancient Land Spirit and then play out the Snow White. So now I have 2 creatures in play. I have a Tribunal popping next turn, so I effectively have 3 actions on board that I can do regardless of what he does next turn. I can make trades, or I can go face. Here he plays with the Ektar, and now this is actually a very big misplay on his part. You don't want to play up the Ektar to trade in this matchup, or sorry, you don't want to play up the Ektar to trade in this particular game state, because like the Ektar is how you finish this game. Like it's 100% how you have to finish this game. So by using it here, it's very bad. I'm assuming that he did it because he forgot that I played the Tribunal as early as I did, because ordinarily people don't play Tribunal this early, unless you're, of course, me. So now it's a very tenuous situation that he just like put himself in. Because the Ektar costs 7 mana or whatever, he only has 1 mana floating, which means that unless he has Goblin here, this is going to be a very bad spot for him to be in. Now, of course, if he had a Goblin, you would have played with the Goblin immediately, so I know he does have a Goblin, or if he does have Goblin, then he's just like a really bad player. Anyway, so what he's going to do here is he's going to have to either trade both zombies into this and then have his Ektar die for free. If this Ektar dies, you lose the game. You straight just lose the game, because you can't do anything about it. Because now I get to like play it whatever I want for free this turn. Like for example, if I have like Summit and then Heavenly Knight, you lose the game because you're just going to eat like 1 billion damage. If you make the trades here, that's fine, but you still been able to make a 50-50 gamble with the Tribunal. I don't think I've used the Scripture yet either, so even if it works in your favor, I still have the Scripture, and I can just go ahead and trade in the Scripture you. So he's just putting himself into like a game losing corner right now. Like, the Aisha thing was whatever. He could have recovered from that, but I don't think he can recover from this. Yep, so he makes the trades. And again, it doesn't matter which way the Tribunal rolls, I'll still win the game. However, obviously, it's much better for me if the Tribunal roll lands the way it does, and which it hits the Ectar, which means I can do whatever I want this turn, as opposed to being forced to most likely go Tribunal in order to clean up the Ectar, and then play like Octobishop or something like that. So now, again, like I said, I can do whatever I want. And what I'll choose to do here is actually go ahead and choose to ward up this turn. My ward is kind of heavy, which means I want to try to, which means that, yeah, even though it has Storm, I want to try to play it out now. I'll go ahead and play it out now because, like, I want to go ahead and, reinforce the, I don't want to die to any, like, random shenanigans. And so one such random shenanigans is that, maybe I guessed wrong, and maybe he actually is, in fact, Reanimator Shadow or Big Shadow or whatever. So I want to go ahead and try to hedge against that possibility, like, because I don't want to deal with any like random Zeuses in my face or whatever the plural of Zeus is. So I'll go ahead and actually make the trade here and then go face for 4. This is nice because it's very scary for him because like if I do in fact have the Summit Temple and I have Beacon John, that means he's going to eat 1 billion damage, and that's great. If he eats all of that damage, he will be in range of course the Great, I believe. So. Anyway, so he does play up the Necro Assassin. He does win the 50-50 with the Necro Assassin. However, as you can see here, because he doesn't have that Kaiser, like he doesn't have anything. He doesn't have anything going with it. The other big thing is that he's only at 7 shadows, whereas he could have been at possibly like 10 shadows again, which means that I'm still currently safe from Aisha. Even if he has the Aisha here, the Aisha won't get double strike, which means that I'll be at 1. I'll be at 1 HP, and that's more than fine enough because I managed to draw into my Aegis, which means I can go ahead and try to bring this game to a swift close. Because ordinarily I would still have to be like wary of like a possible like second Ectars or like the second Aisha or anything like that. But now I don't have to care. Because now all I have to do is I just have to go ahead and slam down the Aegis. I'll make a trade here just in case, because you want to go ahead and be as safe as possible. And now the only thing that saves him is if he has Zeus and to reanimate Zeus or something like that, or Zeus into Aisha. That's it. He plays a Skeleton Prince here, and now here he's finally able to make a Catacombs board. And now again, this would be very scary if I hadn't one just seen him use an Ectar like the turn before, which means he most likely doesn't have a second one, or 2 if he wasn't just dead this turn. Because yeah, like sure, you made the Catacombs for 3 with a very sticky board. That would be game ending in a lot of spots, but not here because he's dead. Yeah, like the big thing about this game is that like my opponent, like he used an Evo for face. Like I cannot trust you enough. Like when you're versus control decks well, we're versus a lot of decks actually and you're playing mid shadow. You want to try to like hold onto your Evos, and you only want to try to like use the Evos to get face if it's like setting up like next turn lethal. If you use Evo for face damage or whatever, you can get punished. You can get punished pretty hard, as you saw there, because like you didn't have Evos to do anything else, which means that like once I stabilize from that one turn, from that like 1.5 turns of weakness, like that was fine. Like all I do was just be willing to tank anywhere from 4 to 10 damage or whatever, and that was fine. And I was able to do it just because like I understood exactly what he needed to do in order to win, and I was able to deny him from setting up those conditions. Yeah, it's just one of the things for you guys to think about in the future. Like the next time play, because again, sometimes what seems correct on paper or seems like correct like instinctually can actually be incorrect overall as you continue to play the game. If you guys enjoyed the video, go and leave a like, go and hit the subscribe button. If you haven't joined it already, go ahead and join my Discord. I'll try to leave the link in the description. Yes, I'm gonna actually go ahead and try to remember this time. Let me know what you guys think about the whole Evo process. Do you like it? Do you hate it? Because I don't really talk about that much, and I probably won't be talking about it for a while. Is there anything you like about it? Is there anything you hate about it? Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you guys.